Hi, Warriors, and welcome to Warriors United webinar number 5. Happy spring to you, my goddesses and Adoni. It's a season of new growth and new beginnings. Are you ready for warmer, longer days and those spring fever parties? People are ready for fun after this long, cold winter. You know, they say March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb. That's how I feel after a session with the womanizer. I am more than ready for Mother Nature to finally turn up her thermostat. And you know, spring sex is a lot of fun. It's like summer sex, but without the sweat. But we have products for that. Next month is April, and it marks our 20th anniversary. And we have lots of party and recruiting promotions to keep excitement high for you and your clients. And be sure to watch our Facebook page because there'll be contests there for you and your customers too. So on today's webinar, Grace is going to teach us about some personality styles and how to communicate with those styles effectively. It's excellent knowledge to have as a direct seller and a team leader. So I'm going to ask you once again, like I always do, to shut down your social media, eliminate those distractions, and lock in the learning. Please take the time to honor your business for the next 30 to 40 minutes. And your first code word is master. M-A-S-T-E-R, master. Take it away, Grace.
Hello, Athena's family. I'm very excited to be here with you for another phenomenal webinar in our series. We're going to be talking today about engaging the purchase. And so get your pens out and paper ready to be able to take notes so that you can apply these concepts to your business right away. So let's get started. First, our focus. So what is our bounce forward focus for this webinar? It is to strategically posture your conversation and speak your client's purchasing language virtually and in person. So what's important here is we want to have people at hello. We want to be most effective in our interactions and communication so that they feel engaged to do business with us as well as refer as business. So engaging one purchase is good. Opening the relationship for a lifelong client and their referrals is leverage. See, businesses say this all the time. You know, it's very costly to market and gain your clients, whereas it is far more effective to keep the clients that you have happy, keep the clients you have continuing to do business with you, purchase with you, be loyal to your organization, and advocates of what you have to offer. And so that's what we're looking to accomplish with this webinar and be able to provide information for you to be able to leverage these relationships for a lifelong relationship. So go ahead and we're going to advance here. So how do we go about doing this and opening the relationship for a lifelong experience and interaction with one another? Well, first things first is we're going to talk about how do I posture the conversation? Because see, what we found is that conversation and the communication that engages our prospects, engages our clients, it is a posture. So I'm going to give you a couple of concepts around how to posture your conversations. And first of all, the first thing we're going to talk about is the champion mindset. The champion mindset and what that really means for you and your business. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about champion mindset here for a moment. One way to develop a champion mindset is to activate, repeat, and reinforce uplifting thoughts that you say to yourself about yourself. So activate, repeat, and reinforce uplifting thoughts that you say to yourself about yourself. And the reason champion mindset is so important is because our ability to influence others, our ability to inspire others is fundamentally rooted in our view of self. So if we are activating, repeating, and reinforcing uplifting thoughts about ourselves, and we repeat those to ourselves, what we're doing is we are upping our ability to influence. We are upping our ability to engage people and to have them at hello. So champion mindset plays a role in how you posture your communication so that people feel excited to be around you. They feel excited to do business with you and also confident to be able to refer you business. Also, part of our posture and our champion mindset is to have courage, exercise courage, to exude confidence. And I was having a conversation with a woman recently, and she was talking about how sometimes she feels like it is easier to have courage in her company first before she develops courage within herself. And so that may be you. Sometimes it's easier to have courage in Athena's before you can build up that courage within yourself. The key, though, is to find something that you feel courageous about when it comes to your business and communicate that and exude it with confidence, because confidence is the most attractive attribute, whether you're a man or a woman. I actually did some research on that, and they communicated that it was actually a dating site that came up. I was researching it, and this dating site came up, and I was like, I'm not interested in any more dates. I have more than enough dates with my husband, which I'm grateful for. But I was interested in the research, and the research proves that confidence, again, is attractive. People are drawn to confident individuals. So how can you, like I said, exercise your courage and exude your confidence? Another important aspect when we're posturing and we're stretching ourselves and connecting with people is to face our fear. Face the fear and go about it anyways. Oftentimes, fear is an illusion. It's not real. As Michael Jordan said, limits like fear are often an illusion. They're often an illusion. So if we can face our fears and give ourselves an opportunity to say something, to it could be a person that you've been nervous about talking to about your business or calling or following up with. If you can face your fear, at first it will be uncomfortable. As you continue the conversation, you'll become more and more comfortable and confident. So when you can face your fear, and oftentimes when I have feared something and I faced it, oh my goodness, I felt so much better about myself, about my business, about what I was doing. Whereas when I felt this fear and I allowed it to hold me hostage, I felt defeated and deflated. And so being able to stretch or to be able to face the fear, what that fear is right now for you or your business. Maybe it's a fear of speaking up and talking to people about your products, a fear of speaking up and inviting people to book with you, a fear of sharing your business and what it has to offer with others. If any of those are your fear, I encourage you, if you are willing to do it once, twice, three times, you'll be astounded at the results that you get. And this is a way to be able to exercise that muscle. Practice makes permanent. And what I love about this, and this is something that I have done even for myself, and I've taught this to others, is to just go about your business and imagine your conversations as practice. So when you view each conversation as practice, you are likely to go into the conversation with strength and take any response less personally. And you're more willing to have those conversations with people. So practicing, if I view it as practice, it's like, okay, it's practice. I'm practicing, I'm refining my skill set. It's just like if you ever played sports like basketball or volleyball or anything of that nature, majority of our effort is in the practice. So we could practice for 10 hours a week on refining our skill set. And then And then we have 1 hour for game time. So it's the same thing in our business. We can practice this business and so we get it better and better and better. So when it comes time for game time, which would be an interview sharing about our business, it would be following through on a party and booking people. It'd be follow up with individuals about what we have to offer. That practice then makes our game time so much more effective, so much more efficient. So I love to practice my craft. And I was even talking to someone about this recently. Imagine this. If you were to address your business as practice. Let's say you're practicing having conversations with people before you feared talking to. So let's say you talked to 20 people and one person said yes. Okay, you practice. You practiced 19 times, and on the 20th time, you got a yes. What I have found is that, yeah, maybe that first round, it was 20 conversations for one yes. Then what I found is then it's 17 conversations for one yes, 15, 10, 8, 5, 2 to 1. So meaning 2 conversations for one yes, because you're so efficient and effective. You're so well versed and practiced. You are communicating so fluidly, and everything is coming so naturally to you because your practice makes permanent. Practice makes permanent. The more you practice, the easier game time becomes. The easier those conversations become, the more fluid and confident and postured you become. So next, we're going to talk about the tone of the conversation. And I touched base on this in a previous webinar with all of you here at Athena's. But it's such an important aspect because our tone is crucial. And what I mean by tone is when we can have a tone to the conversation. So it can be upbeat, it can be exciting, it could be passionate, it could be thoughtful. A tone can also be a way of communicating. And so let me give you a distinction. A tone of conversation could be positive. People know when they're going to be speaking with you that it's going to be a positive, uplifting experience. It's a joy to interact with you. So that's one distinction. And that often prompts this reaction of smiling when you walk into a room. When people are complaining, gossiping, the tone of their conversation is negative or negating. It is it's 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 kind of we call it downer, a Debbie Downer. It's just, oh, how are you today? Oh, not bad. Well, that tone, what people are thinking is it must be bad. It certainly isn't good. If she's saying it's not bad, and then the way she's saying it it sounds bad. And so that's where they're smiling when we walk out. That's where they are letting our calls go to voicemail because the tone of the conversation is leaving them feeling lower or deflated, or it's bringing up things that don't make them feel good, and they're co-associating those emotions with us if that's our tone of our conversation. So being mindful of the tone that you're looking to communicate and to do our best to leave people feeling good about their interaction with us, leave people feeling uplifted and excited to be speaking with us again next time, or to refer us business, or to do business with us. So tone is important. This is where and the distinction here in our tone is, are we talking and convincing someone? So are we talking at them? Are we attempting to convince them to do something? Versus an upbeat and engaging approach. People are like, "Oh my gosh, this is fun to talk to you. This is fun to interact with you. I'm enjoying our conversation. I can't wait for more." Okay, so we're going above and beyond. Not only are we engaging and upbeat, but we're creating this environment where people feel like, "Oh my gosh, I enjoy your presence. I want to do business with you." Also, being mindful with our tone is this a self-service oriented approach? Is this about me and what I'm going to get and what I want to share with you, and what by you booking what I get to earn? Well, that is very self-centered. So we're clawing the opportunities back to us versus being service oriented. What's in it for this other person? How would you want to benefit? So if you were going to schedule or book in an experience with me or a party with me, what would you like to see happen at that party? What do you think your guests would want to learn or to hear about? What would make that an enjoyable experience for you? See, what you're doing is you're not assuming or projecting what you want to get out of it and what you want to accomplish. You're asking for what their needs are, for what would make booking this party with you a priority. What are some of the products that they would like to earn, or have access to at a discount because for some of the advantages of hosting? So service oriented approach is talking and connecting what they're looking for with what you have to offer and being very mindful of that. What are they looking for? What are their needs? What are their goals? What are their objectives? And connecting that with what you have to offer. This is that service oriented approach that leave people feeling happy to do business with you. And so asking the questions. Another thing that I've been recently sharing with people, with regards to a service-oriented approach, is to ask them, what would be important for what what would be important for me to talk about or to share at your booking? What would be important? What do you think your guests would want to learn about? What would make this a valuable investment of your time? What are some of the goals as far as the products that you'd like to earn for free or at a discount? What are some of the goals that you have associated with your booking or with your party? What you're doing is that you're supporting them to find the reason why they would book with you in the first place. Their passion for booking this Athena's Home Novelties gathering. Okay, so we're going to go forward here to number 3, which is to speak their purchasing language. And speaking their purchasing language is being able to discern who are you speaking with. And what I'm going to do right now is take a moment to inform you that there is a code word for this particular webinar. And so speaking your Athena's language, Jen provided me with the word your, Y-O-U-R. You're definitely going to want to write that down because that's the code word to support you in getting your keys. So definitely put that down someplace safe so that you can reference that as the code word for this particular webinar. Your is the code word. So back to the webinar here, speaking their purchasing language. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to recognize various behavioral styles for people that you're interacting with, whether you are speaking to them in person or whether you're meeting with them virtually, or texting, or emailing and so forth. So you can run into dominant behavioral styles. And dominant behavioral styles, they often they they prefer to make the decision on their own. So if you tell them what to do, they may not embrace or be enthusiastic about that answer unless they asked you for it. So if you go out and you're telling a dominant person, well, I really think you should book, they may resist the idea because it wasn't their own. So when you're meeting with a dominant person or behavioral style, it could add value to ask them, what are your thoughts about the possibility of scheduling your own party? What are your thoughts about the possibility of scheduling your own party? Or have you ever considered, or what would be your willingness to have a party? And they appreciate the question versus telling them you really should book something. Dominant behavioral styles also resist help. They prefer not to be asked, can I help you? Because they don't want to be helped. They can do it themselves. So if you were to ask, how could I support you? They're more comfortable with that term. But help, I have found that the more dominant behavioral styles do not want to be helped because they don't want to be helpless. Often they want to lead the conversation. They will often communicate in bullet points. They're very brief and to the point. They'll appreciate a brief overview. They are not interested unless most times they are not interested in all of the details. They'd prefer a brief overview. Often dominant individuals are task-oriented, so they expect to get it done, and they will be looking for that from you. So keep your conversations brief. So if you do call or reach out to a dominant person, I would get to the point quickly. I would also put a time parameter on your conversation or a time parameter on your party so that they know what to expect. So they will appreciate that approach. So if you say, I'm calling, it's going to be about 5 minutes. Is this a good time? I'm calling to follow up with you. I was thinking about 5 minutes. Is this a good time? And so that leaves the dominant behavioral style feeling more comfortable. So a way to speak their language is to get to the point, is to be brief, is to give them an opportunity to lead or to make the decision, and to have some time parameter on the conversation because they do not like a lot of repetitive, unnecessary information. So that is for dominance. Influential. These behavioral styles, these influential people, they are often people-oriented. So they're outgoing and people-oriented. They are the life of the party. They easily engage people. They are fantastic at inviting guests. They, if it's not fun, they're not coming. It's important also with influential behavioral styles to be brief. So if you want to speak an influential behavioral styles language, you're going to want to talk about the fun. You're going to want to talk about who do they think would enjoy this experience. Who do you think would make this a fun night? Who loves a girls' night in or a friend's night in? So they are going to look for fun. They're going to look for brief. It's going to be important to talk to them and help them to establish their list. It's going to be important with an influential person to follow up with them, to consistently follow up with them on their guest list, consistently follow up with them on who's who and who's going to be attending, to celebrate with them. So they're going to want to celebrate the milestones along the way. If they are a host for you, they're going to want to be celebrated as well. So they will appreciate you recognizing them in front of the crowd and letting everyone know how fantastic they are, because that's important to an influential person. Um, so speaking their language, again, fun, it's going to be entertaining, it's going to be unique. You're going to learn some things, but they're not as concerned about learning as they are about everyone having a good time. So being able to reiterate that, speaking their language in that manner, so keeping it easy, it's fun, it's exciting. People are going to love this. Other people are going to see you as, the hostess with the mostest. So how people's perception of them is very important. So again, that is for your influential person to be able to speak. Those are ways to be able to speak their language. If you are texting them, they're definitely going to be using a lot of emojis, a lot of emotion. Whereas if you're texting a D, you're probably going to see a lot of exclamation points. The text is probably going to be brief. They may use one emoji, where your influencer, they're going to use like 10 different emojis to express. Or they're going to, if they are sending you an email, it's going to be brief. It could even be a one-liner for an influential person. Steady. Now, this behavioral style of the steady Eddie, these people are consistent, persistent. They're relationship builders. They're very loyal and dedicated. So if they say yes, they're going to host, they're going to they're going to do business with you, they will probably be easily lifelong clients. Same thing if the steady behavioral style has an interest in joining your team. They will be consistent and persistent as long as there's no conflict. Steady behavioral styles do not align well with conflict. It actually repels them. So they are not they will avoid it. So being able to one, talk a bit about how this would add value to someone else is often easier for them to align with than how it would personally add value to them. So being able to talk about who else could benefit from participating or attending this experience. If they're a team member, I may ask, who do you think would want to walk along this journey with you? Who do you think would want to go with you on this Athena's journey and be a part of your team? And because they're very steady, behavioral styles are very family oriented. So they're going to want to connect. They likely would like for you to talk personal first before you get down to business. So if you're contacting a client and they are a steady behavioral style and steady, so how you can recognize them is they are consistent, persistent. They think before they speak. They're mindful about how it would impact others and what that would mean for someone else. So when you know you're going to be talking to this steady, persistent, consistent individual that would like more information, often they want a little more information about whatever you are going to be sharing or talking about or offering, they're going to want to have you there. It will be more meaningful, and if you speak personally to them first and then transition into business, because they are relationship builders. And what's great about relationship builders in your business is that this is a relationship business. So for you to have and surround yourself with relationship builders, they're people that are happy to advocate for you and your Athena's business. They're happy to advocate for your products and the difference that it's made for them. They're happy to advocate for your business and the excitement that they have for what they're doing and knowing that it's making a difference and it matters. It's helping people. It's helping relationships. It's making people feel good about who they are. So these steady people are going to be people that will stay with you long term and often refer you others. Cautious individuals. Now these behavioral style, they're going to be mindful about their decision. They're going to likely want all the details, verbally and in writing. They're often going to want you to explain. So if you were talking to a prospective host, they'll want you to explain it, and then they'll probably want you to follow up with the information. These cautious individuals, it may take them a little bit longer to make a decision. Once they make that decision, though, they follow through. So be patient with them. It is not that they're trying to be challenging or be over the top. They're looking for all of the details in order to make their purchasing decision. They may ask you a million questions that no one else has ever bothered to ask you, and they will, because that's what they need in order to decide. And they're diligent with finding the quality answers that they're looking for, and then once they have all the pieces of the puzzle, they'll definitely buy, and they'll probably buy significant amounts because they were so mindful and thoughtful about their decision. So cautious individuals, like I said, they're going to look for the details. They're going to want the specifics. So if you are giving them vague answers like, oh, well, we may be meeting over here on the west side, possibly on Tuesday, this will drive a cautious person crazy. They're going to want to know, where is it? When is it? What is the address? What are the specifics? How long will it be? When does it start? These people often will show up. Being on time is actually being late. So they will likely be early to everything that you make available because that is how they function. They operate. They're very precise and exact and detailed oriented. So all of these behavioral styles, all of these languages per se, are valuable as clients and as team members. The key, though, is that it's up to us to adjust. It is up to us to speak their language so that they feel comfortable doing business with us and referring us business. So I encourage you to, one, have this well-rounded offering, have this well-rounded approach to all these different styles, and so that they feel like, oh my gosh, it's so fun to do business with you. It's so fun to refer you business. It's a joy to interact with you on a consistent basis. So those are a few ideas that I wanted to share with you tonight. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts, your comments on this particular webinar. Again, this whole concept of engaging the purchase and how to strategically posture your conversations and speak your clients' purchasing language virtually and in person. So thank you, everyone at Athena's, and I look forward to welcoming you on a future webinar. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Grace, once again. As she was going through the personality styles, did you find your own? Are you a dominant, influential, steady? Some of it was a little sexy to me. I want to be a dominant. So what did you think about this webinar? Did you have any aha moments that you'd like to share with me? If you did, please make a brief video about your aha moment and share it on the WOW page in the thread that says, share your aha moment from webinar number 5. Post your video by Friday at 11:59 p.m. and I'll pick a random winner, and that random winner will receive two full sets of our spa products. That's 16 spa products that you could add to your demo, sell, use as hostess gifts, or keep for yourself. That's $333.98 of pampering. Someone's going to win it. It could be you. So to submit your code words and get credit towards your spoils of war, follow the very easy directions that are included in the email that included this link and have been posted on the Wow and War pages for your convenience. And the final code word is CRAFT. C-R-A-F-T. Your final code word is CRAFT. Before I let you go, I just want to say that I believe that knowledge is power. And when I hear people say that our products sell themselves, I don't totally agree with that. The products are pretty spectacular, but without your genuine desire to connect and serve your clients' needs, you won't be selling them. My intention is for you to become a skilled, savvy business owner. And you must feel the same way because here you are, showing up to learn more. Thank you for that. It means a lot to me. So there's no Warrior webinar next week as I'll be out traveling to Now events. Grace and I will be back for our final webinar for this session of Warriors United on Wednesday, April 4th. Till then, I wish you amazing sales and team building as March draws to a close. Your success matters to me. Goddess bless, and again, thanks for watching.